Hi everybody, my name's Amelia and welcome back to my channel. So a lot of things have been on my mind and I've realized I kind of want to have a few more chatty videos, and so that's what we're going to do. Here we are. So for today's video, I wanted to talk about a few mindsets that have completely changed my life, or like a few activities, things that I do now, ways of living that have totally transformed my everyday. Now, there's a few reasons I want to make this video, but a lot of it is just because I've been watching and consuming a lot of informational content from other people, and I've kind of realized that I have changed dramatically since I started this channel even. I believe I started my channel, like taking it seriously anyway, back in 2020 like everybody else did during the pandemic. And I feel like since then I have grown and shifted and changed so much that I don't even think I'm like the same person as I was. I mean, like, I am. I'm obviously the same Amelia. But I feel like things are so different. And anyway, I am so happy and content and in love and inspired by life, and because I've been able to reach this place after such a long period of being in a depression and being afraid and angry at the world around me, I really wanted to share the things I've learned and what has really helped me to heal and to grow. And I personally just thought that people watching and listening, especially, you guys who have been with me for a while, or those of you who are new to my channel, hi there, welcome. You guys might be inspired by these things too and want to know like what can truly make a difference. Now, before I get into this, I want to make a disclaimer that I am not like a psychiatrist, a therapist, a doctor, a nutritionist, or whatever. I don't know exactly what topics we're going to cover today, but I am not a professional in any sense of the word. I'm a professional writer. Okay, so I'm a professional in one way. I'm a professional writer, but I'm not a professional in anything else. So take all of this with a grain of salt. This is my disclaimer. And before we get into everything, I also wanted to point out that while a lot of these things are probably going to be things you've heard of before, I'm going to give you the no BS solutions, answers, and kind of explain why it actually works and explain my thought processes, because to be honest with you, there was a time where I thought like half of this stuff was a bunch of like hocus pocus, and I just didn't believe in it. I didn't have any faith in it, and my views have totally shifted since participating in these mindful activities. Before we go ahead and get started as well, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like it, because it really helps out me and my channel, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more personal growth, journaling, spiritual, whatever content I decide to make, content like this. And without further ado, let's just go ahead and start. So the first mindful choice that I began making every single day that has like totally reshaped my life is listening or watching something informative every single morning. It's as simple as that. I have not yet mastered the morning routine, though I will get into that maybe in another video about my personal morning routine, and things that I do, things that I want to change, etc. But for now, I'm just going to focus on this one portion of my morning routine because it has changed me so much. So for some backstory, when I took 9th grade biology, back in high school, and my biology teacher had this thing called daily dendrites, because dendrites are something in the brain. I'll put a thing up here from Google or whatever. The point is that we had these daily dendrites where basically it was like some sort of like activity to get your brain juices going. Yep, I'm gonna call them juices. Just to make you think. And it was supposed to be really good to help improve memory and to help you be more clear-minded in the mornings and just kind of like get going. So flash forward some years, and I think it might have been after I had to drop out of college when I realized I craved information. I craved knowledge, but there wasn't really like a great way to take classes without spending a lot of money or trying to re-enroll in school, possibly a different school, and it was just a lot of stress. So what I started doing was listening to podcasts every morning. And at first I was listening to podcasts about how to blog and SEO and marketing strategies because these are things that I studied in school, things that I originally wanted to earn my degree in. And so I was like, I'm gonna listen to this stuff. So I listened to a bunch of podcasts like every single morning when I made breakfast about blogging, marketing, graphic design, strategy, stuff like that. Eventually, it got to the point where I kind of maxed out on the blog content, so then I went to tarot, and I went to crystals, and I went to just like anything and everything under the sun. Since then, I have found so many amazing informational podcasts and YouTube channels that I listen to every single morning. And so it's amazing. It's like a great way to, get the brain juices flowing, but it also helps me to be more intentional about what I consume and my life in general. I found that consuming informative content every single morning has not only helped me to become a more intellectual human being, but it has also helped me become more well-rounded in areas of life that I used to never think about. Like, I didn't really think about geology or weather patterns or food or gardening tips. I don't know. I never really, there's so many topics, but I never really thought about it until I started listening to these podcast episodes. I don't necessarily consume news articles or news content. A lot of it's just very small podcasts or podcasters who share informational content of one genre or another. And again, it has completely changed, just my life. I mean, every day I start my day with this intentional, informative content, and it really gets me thinking. It makes me feel empowered, and it's a great thing to have going in the background while I make my breakfast and eat my breakfast. And I don't know, it's made me have a new appreciation for learning, and I have decided I want to be a lifelong learner. I want to learn something new every single day. I want to study topics in depth even though I don't have a degree in them. And I'm going to do that through YouTube videos, through podcasts, through whatever form of media I can find, so long as I can have it playing while I do other things. But that is one of the mindful choices that I have made that has completely shifted everything. It has impacted me so much. The more you learn about the world, the more you study, especially topics you're interested in, but also topics that you never would have touched in the first place, the more of a well-rounded human, an intellectual human being you are going to be, and the better off you'll probably be when it comes to making everyday decisions throughout your day, throughout your life, etc. So, highly recommend it. Okay, so for my next 3 mindful choices that I make every day, the next 3 tips that I give you, you're going to probably roll your eyes and be like, gosh, Emilio, everybody knows this. We all know this. We all know we're supposed to do it. Yeah, it helps. Okay. And look, I used to have that opinion, which is why I'm making this mocking sort of attitude. That was me. I was that person a while ago who was like, okay, those 3 tips you have, we all know it. We all know we're supposed to do it, whatever. Also, my lighting just went away. Thank you, sun. Working with nature. But anyway, so I know that these are not going to be transformative, life-changing things, but I swear they are. I swear they actually are, and everybody is not BSing you. These things actually work. It's just, you gotta get the habit going, and until you get the habit going, you don't really see the difference. So let me just jump into it. The first thing is meditation. Meditation, oh my goodness. If you are struggling with anxiety, depression, OCD, I don't know, any sort of mental illness, if you have a high level of stress, if you worry a lot, meditation is amazing. And I tried meditating when I was in high school. I had a guided meditation app, and for a while I was actually able to do it, but then I fell off and I wasn't really doing it as much, and then I tried to get back into it and it was hard, and I couldn't really do it. I was like, oh, this isn't working, this isn't helping me, I can't meditate, it's too difficult, I don't know how people do this. Oh my gosh, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have sat down and just did it more every single day, even if it didn't make a difference. I wish I would have started making the habit sooner than I did. It took me a long time before I actually got into the habit of meditating, and now it comes so naturally. I swear to you, you have to get in the habit for it to work. And I know that I have a lot of friends who struggle to meditate, and I think that the issue is that It's one of those things that like you can sit down and try to meditate for 5 minutes every single day at some point in your day for like 2 or 3 weeks, and you still might struggle with it. It still might not make a difference. It's one of those things that you really need to do that, like, it takes 21 days to form a habit sort of thing. Like, spend 21 days doing it. And I think that the main reason I actually was able to get into the habit of meditating and actually reap the benefits of doing so was because I read the book Atomic Habits, which helped me to form the habit in the first place. Highly recommend that book, by the way. It is so good. And I think I've talked about it before in a blog post or in a video. If I have, I will link it down below. I just can't remember if I did or not. I feel like I did, because it was like a life-changing book. But knowing how to form the habit was like the first step, and then once I knew that, I used those tools from the author, whose name escapes me at the moment, but I used those tools to form the habit of meditation, and it has made me feel so peaceful and content and overjoyed with life. And I do all kinds of forms of meditation for different things, for stress relieving before bed, and for gut health. I mean, it's insane how good it works. It's a huge part of my spiritual practice, which I might talk about at some point. But anyway, if you can get into the habit of meditating, do so. Meditate, try to get in the habit, make yourself meditate for like a month, like 5 minutes every single day for a month, and then see where you are at the end of the month, because I swear it gets easier with the more you do it. In a similar vein, journaling has transformed my life, and you know, it's kind of funny because this whole channel, I mean, the majority of my videos have to do with journaling of some sort. Whether that be art journaling or just regular journaling, journaling is a huge part of my life, and I spend a lot of time doing it. As a writer, journaling comes fairly naturally for me. I didn't have to worry about getting in the habit of it, really. I didn't have to like struggle too much to do it. It just comes very easily to me. So I didn't really have to worry about that one, but I wanted to point out something else about it. Rather than it being a hard habit to get into, I wanted to point out that a lot of people, like, we all know journaling can change our lives and that it can help us, but I think a lot of people who try it and it doesn't work at first, they give up. There's like this general understanding that like, yeah, it works, but it doesn't work for me, or I can't do it. And while I would love to go on like a whole rant about journaling and how you can get into it and all that, I have tons and tons of videos on this channel about it. So if you are interested in journaling, reaping the benefits of journaling, and doing it every day, inspiring yourself, letting out some creativity, if you want to do art journaling or something, I have a lot of videos on that. So I'll leave my playlists down below to help you out, but basically walk away with the idea that journaling really does help. And I've been able to talk with friends who journaled like once a week, and you don't have to share your entries or anything, but like all of them have said that it helps and it changes things. Sometimes it doesn't, and I think it kind of depends on what your topic is and how you go about the journaling process. If you want a lot of inspiration, like quick inspiration, my entire Pinterest is like flooded with journaling content that I post almost like every day. Not really, I mean it's like 3 times a week, but still I post a lot of journaling stuff there, so definitely check it out. I'll share some of those videos to my YouTube shorts, but I don't want to flood my channel with shorts, so you get the idea. But journaling has helped me to be way more mindful and intentional. I can send all of my rants on these pages, and I can talk about my life, and to go back and read my journal entry when I was at an all-time low. And then I look at my entries that I've been making in the last like few months, and oh my gosh, like the growth. That's kind of why I started this video in the first place, because I realized that my life has changed so much, and I just feel so in love and happy and excited about things. And so I really wanted to share this with you because I know that it's rough out there, and you know, I know that there's a lot of challenges and hardship that we face all the time, and journaling was my way through that, and I swear I've grown so much as a person. I don't know, I just really like journaling. It helps a lot. If you want to know about the benefits of journaling, I have a whole video on that. Again, we all kind of know collectively that it helps, but this is me giving you the no BS answer / advice to journal, because it is life-changing. It really is. Another mindful choice I make every single day that I'm not going to spend too long on is just drinking a lot of water. I have this big red bottle here filled with water, and I try to drink like the whole thing every single day, if not more. But I almost exclusively drink water now. I mean, I have coffee in the mornings. Sometimes I'll drink milk. Sometimes I drink smoothies. Lactose-free milk, by the way. And sometimes juice. But those are like sometimes things. I do not drink soda. I cut soda out so long ago. If I want a soda type of drink when I go out to a restaurant, I get lemonade or like iced tea, which isn't really like a soda. But to me, it's like the equivalent. I don't know. Being more hydrated has relieved my headaches. It has helped me have a lot of clear skin. I don't know, water is like amazing and I love it, and the more you drink it, the more you'll like it, I guess, like you get used to it. There's also like flavored things you can add to water if you don't drink enough water. There's also these like liquid IV, I think is what they're called, that like doubles the water intake somehow. I have no idea how that works. But water is just great. We all know it. We all know we need to drink more of it. And I just wanted to point out that changed me a lot, and I like water. Okay, so we got the boring bits out of the way in the middle of this video, so we know we're supposed to journal, meditate, and drink water. Great. Let's talk about something that you might not know will help. So one of the mindful choices I made every single day now for a very long time is, and I'm going to say this kind of weird, but I'll explain it in a second. I like to dress nice every single day. So to break this down for you, I work from home, so I used to just wear leggings and a sweater, leggings and a t-shirt, pajamas, whatever, you know, and I would do my work, or I would maybe dress up a little bit to go out. I'd put on jeans and a t-shirt and I would go out. For me, that wasn't necessarily dressing up or dressing nice. It was just putting something on so I was decent and I suited the environment that I was going to be in. If I'm going to the grocery store, sweatpants work. If I'm going to, say, I don't know, go to the bar with friends, maybe I should dress up a little bit and put on jeans, you know? Like, it wasn't really, clothing to me didn't really matter. I wasn't into it. I didn't really care how I looked. It was just kind of like, meh, whatever. And about a year ago now, maybe a little less than a year ago, I began exploring my personal style, and when I tell you that this has changed my mood and my productivity, like, oh my gosh. The main reason that I started dressing up each day is because I was kind of falling into a depression. I was feeling very lazy, I wasn't really getting a lot done each day, and I had heard that when we dress in like our pajamas and then go to work, we still have like that pajama sleepy mindset, you know? And so I was like, you know, I'll try it out. I'll try dressing up each day. And then when I started dressing up more, I was like, I need clothes that suit my personal style and aesthetic. So I started doing that. I revamped my entire wardrobe. And let me tell you, the self-expression that you can put in clothing is awesome. And I thrift everything I buy. I do not break the bank on fashion. I thrift everything. Now, I know there's like this thing that you need to have a lot of time to thrift and that it can be very hard to do so, and I used to feel that way. I've gotten better. I think it is one of those things, again, you get better at it with the practice. I was able to pick pieces that felt very me, and I was able to explore my personal style. And I started styling pieces, layering things, making it look very Amelia to me. And I don't know, I just really like it. I like that I can do that, and it made me feel more confident in what I was wearing. Beyond that, dressing up each day, or at least dressing out of my pajamas, made me more productive. I had like a different mindset. It was like, okay, now that I'm dressed, it's work time. Like, it wasn't like lay in bed time or like sit on the couch and scroll through Pinterest or something. Like, it was time to go to work and to be productive, to run errands and do all that stuff. And then beyond that, color therapy, color theory, whatever, I don't know what it's called, but dressing in a way with choosing color, a different color each day, focusing on colors that align with certain chakras, focusing on colors that inspire certain moods, certain ideas, etc., had completely, oh my gosh, it's crazy. I wore more red when I wanted to feel confident and sexy and dark feminine, if you will. I wore red when I wanted to feel passionate and inspired. I wore purple when I wanted to feel like ethereal and like creative. And I wore yellow when I wanted to be optimistic and excited and happy. And this, I swear it works. I don't know how. Not saying that you have to wear like every color of the rainbow every week, but it did work for me. And I think that knowing when you are lacking a certain mood or feeling and knowing what color is associated with the thing that you're lacking and then being able to wear that color to inspire that mood into your life or bring it into your life, it's crazy and it works, and I do not know why. I really don't know, but it works and I really enjoyed it. So dressing up every single day, even though it's not anything fancy, today it's nothing fancy, but dressing up every single day helped me to be more productive, happier, and more in tune with myself, so I highly recommend it. Okay, so another thing that I do every single day, it's a mindful choice, it's something that I put a lot of self-discipline in, a lot of intention into doing, is I read a book or watch a documentary instead of scrolling through social media. I used to have this like bad habit of picking up my phone and scrolling through Instagram and Pinterest and TikTok and wherever, or watching YouTube videos that didn't really mean much for hours on end. And I spent so much time doing a lot of nothing. So I've kind of found that I do need entertainment in some form or another, and I've been very fortunate to train myself into getting that entertainment out of informative YouTube videos, like videos where they teach you something, and as well as watching documentaries and reading a nonfiction book. I need to preface this with the fact that I grew out of fantasy a little bit for a while and went to nonfiction books, but I still think reading a fantasy book or reading a fiction book or whatever is just as helpful, because reading is just really good for us. It helps us with comprehension, it helps us to stimulate parts of our brains that movies don't really do, it helps us to be more imaginative, and it also helps us to be more contemplative and empathetic because you have to relate to characters, understand things that are going on, etc. And I just really enjoy reading as is, so it wasn't hard to pick up that habit, but choosing to watch documentaries or choosing informative content over just entertaining content was very difficult at first. But once I got into the habit of doing it, at this point it's like second nature. Like, I don't think about it. I just pick something that I think is interesting to learn about and I consume that. This is not to say that I don't consume like TV shows or fun YouTube videos. I love Let's Plays, so I watch those a lot. I still watch like things that are just goofy and entertaining. I still go on TikTok. I still scroll on Pinterest and Instagram, but I've tried to limit myself. I've set app limits on certain apps. I keep my TV off most of the time and only turn it on sparingly when I know that I'm going to sit down and watch something. I no longer watch movies or TV shows on my phone because then it's too easy to sit there for hours on it, whereas if I have it on my TV, it's almost like I'm kind of forced to pay attention to the time and the space around me as well as the people around me, so that's been really helpful as well. Obviously, this sort of mindful activity is going to differ from person to person and household to household, but for me, I found that setting those app limits, only watching movies and long entertaining content on the TV, choosing to have books right there on the coffee table instead of, just having my phone as my only option, and choosing to watch documentaries and such for entertainment has just, it's helped so much. I know it's good for me, and I know that I'm happy, and I feel so, excited with life. There's less comparison, there's less feeling like I wasted my afternoon, and I really value that. Having that understanding that I'm spending my time in a way that feels whole and full to me, it feels really nice. It's a nice thing to know. If you are looking to be more mindful about your tech usage and how you consume content and what you watch, I definitely recommend looking at documentaries like The Social Dilemma or reading that book Atomic Habits to reform habits and spend less time on your phone on social media, or spending less time at least consuming content that is detrimental to you. Obviously everybody's different. Sometimes horror shows for me can be kind of detrimental. It gets me in this weird fear and anxious mindset that I don't really like, but for other people it's like a thriller, it's fun, it's exciting, and they love it. So I think that everybody's different. So where a documentary works for me, it might not work for you, but you have to figure out what content you are consuming and whether it's helping or or hindering you, and then move on from there. Like I said, I still indulge in TV shows and Let's Plays. I just don't indulge like as much because that can sometimes waste my entire afternoon. So that's why I don't. But I definitely recommend looking at the things that you watch and consume and choosing to read a book every single day, like a physical book. It helps. And the last thing that I do that is mindful, that I do every single day, is take a more holistic look at my health, my wellness, and my mental well-being. I think that one thing I'm angry about, it's not like angry, I guess one thing I'm like, seriously, like really guys, like that's kind of the attitude I have about it. One thing that made me act like that or feel that way is that I felt like my public education that I received didn't really teach me how to take care of my body, how to listen to my body, how to heal and feel refreshed and alive. In the past year, I have been way more intentional about how I treat myself, my health specifically, but also my mental wellness, spiritual wellness, just wellness everywhere, the holistic approach. And whenever something's out of balance, I ask myself, okay, is it a problem that is stemming from held on to trauma? Is it a problem that is stemming from a regret? Is it coming from emotions at all? Is it instead coming from the gut? Is it coming from something I ate? Like, I really look at life in a more holistic sense, and I try to diagnose, I guess, areas of my life using that vision. For myself, trying to understand my body, trying to feed it and nourish it with more than just the foods, but also the supplements, and going out in the sunlight and spending time in nature and journaling and meditating, like the whole thing. It's what holistic health is about. Just completely changed everything for me. And I am still on a journey where I am still learning and trying to understand this holistic sense of living. And I will admit, it takes some time to fully read the materials and understand what you're supposed to be doing and look at your health and your wellness and your mental well-being all in these like different ways, just a different way of understanding the body and the human experience. And I feel like school didn't really teach me that, and I've been learning it on my own. I'm basically just saying that understanding my own body, how I operate, and taking care of it, and taking care of my environment and stuff has just, I don't know, I feel so whole and happy, and I really wanted to share that. So if you have a chance to dive into holistic health, Gaia has a bunch of amazing documentaries and interviews and stuff on their app that you can watch. YouTube has tons as well, just to practice more holistic, healthy living, and it just, I don't know, it's amazing. So I recommend it. I really do. So those are probably the top things that have changed my life in the past year or so. Maybe even a little bit more than a year. But those are the mindful choices and things that I'm intentional about every single day. They're what I did. Again, I try to keep it a little vague, but if you're interested in any of those topics, please leave a comment down below letting me know if you want to talk about any single piece a bit more, because I would be very interested in sharing that with you. And of course, I've had a lot on my mind recently, and I felt like this was something I needed to share because I do feel so happy and fulfilled with my life. And I don't think I would be here if I didn't make all of those changes. And I made them gradually. I think that's really important to mention here, that I made all of those changes over time. I didn't just do it all overnight. Over time, I was able to get happier and healthier as I moved on. And I'm at this point now where I'm still learning, I'm still trying to understand the world around me, and I'm still working on my holistic approach to health and to my spirituality, as well as maintaining the habits in meditation, journaling, drinking water, all those things. I'm trying to continue that and grow and just live a very fulfilled and joyful life and existence. And with all that, of course, I want to share it with my community because I feel like it's just it's one of the ways I can help, I think. So I want to help. So anyway, yeah, I think that's all for today's video. Like I said, leave a comment if you have any questions and you want to learn more, or see something in a future video. And yeah, until next time, I will catch you later.